Oftentimes, when we play video games, we want an immersive story. We also want a game that is relatively easy to pick up without much worry to have to learn a bunch of new skills in order to feel like you're actually decent at the game. Here's the thing with Spider-Man. I actually feel like this game can save RPG games for me, and in many ways it already has. I grew up watching my brothers play games like Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy X, Fable, Zelda Ocarina of Time, just a bunch of random ones to name a few. I was always fascinated by the story of these games, but I'll be honest, I never really played them. Now, this probably has something to do with the fact that I was actually quite young when my brothers would play these games, so I didn't really feel like challenging myself in the story to watch it play out, but I loved watching people play those games. I spent most of my time playing many sports games and just more simple RPG games, something like maybe a Spider-Man or Grand Theft Auto. The moral of the story is, I love games with a strong story, games that have you feel like you are the character that you are using, but also games that give you an immersive experience into your character's life. This Spider-Man game gives me that exact feeling. I find myself constantly getting lost and just swinging around. You sometimes can find it actually a bit overwhelming too with what needs to get done in Spider-Man's world, in the movies, in the shows, in the comics. It would be kind of stressful, and in the game sometimes it is kind of stressful. To fill you in on why I'm making this video, the last few years I have found myself playing the same games year after year. Games like Call of Duty and many different sports games, they change minimally every year, yet you're paying a lot of money for what can feel like nothing at times. That being said, I have always kind of thought of trying other games, but never pursued them. Now, I remember in 2018 when this Spider-Man game came out and I heard about all the incredible reviews this game was getting, but at that time, who knows what I was playing. I was probably playing something like Call of Duty or hockey or basketball, whatever it was I was playing. I just could not be bothered by picking up an RPG game at that time. Now, it's kind of embarrassing, but it wasn't until just a few weeks ago that I looked heavily into Spider-Man game and saw that I got a 10 out of 10 ratings in some places. Now, obviously, I couldn't help but to try it. And I'll say, from mission to mission, you are sucked into this story that at times can be a little bit predictable, but honestly, it never really bothered me. Between the story that pulls you on a fun and heart-wrenching journey, and the side missions that can involve simple things like collecting old backpacks or chasing other villains around, every aspect of direction with Spider-Man feels enjoyable. It has been a long time since I have felt almost no negativity towards a game. Typically, the games I play involve little change, so any small change seems to be praised very highly. And then you have studios like Insomnia who clearly love making good quality games. Every aspect of this game is well thought out, leaving you with a sense of hope for future gaming. Now, the last thing to note is that microtransactions for many games that I've loved, it has ruined them. And by the sounds of it, even the DLC in Spider-Man is worth spending the extra money. By the end of playing Spider-Man, I tried to do one thing. I tried to imagine playing this game without knowing for sure whether there'd be another. That makes the end of the game so much more enjoyable. Seeing the interaction between Peter and Miles at the end is something that must have been so exciting for fans of Spider-Man. And I found the writing of this story was fun, it was dark, and just in every aspect, it was so masterfully done. Now, the next game I'm going to be picking up will be Miles Morales, and of course, that's in preparation for Spider-Man 2 coming out in October. This game was a breath of fresh air, and I can't wait to see what this studio does with whatever games they make in the future.